First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone, Wallington's truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson, the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type D lesson is the sword is without, and the pestilence and famine within. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by NBC News. And it reads, it said bird flu samples show mutations that may make it easier to spread to people. CDC reports. It says here, genetic analysts suggest the H5N1 virus has the capacity to mutate in ways that could make it more transmissible to humans. Let's get a little bit more. It says here the H5N1 bird flu samples collected from a severely ill patient in Louisiana show signs of mutation that may make the virus more transmissible to humans. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention reported Thursday, or the CDC. It says the unidentifiable patient who was hospitalized with serious respiratory symptoms is believed to have contracted bird flu from exposure to sick and dead birds in a backyard flock. So the patient has not been identified, but is reportedly over 65 with underlying health problems. So, and is the second person in the U.S. or the United States who has been hospitalized with the virus. Said the Louisiana patient was infected with a strain of the virus different from the one affecting dairy cows and causing sporadic cases in farm workers in the U.S. So this is lining up just like 2020, another pandemic. So we're seeing right now these things are constantly picking up. And one thing about it, men of the Lord, we're constantly warning you left and right about all these pending dangers. These evils are constantly growing left and right. So let's get a little bit more. It said genetic analysts of 2 samples collected from the Louisiana patient suggest that the virus may have the ability to attach the cells in the human upper airway that worsens, experts say, because bird flu virus like the H5N1 typically attached to cells or receptors found in birds and other animals, but not commonly in humans. So this is why the bird flu typically doesn't infect humans or spread person to person. So one of the mutations was also seen in a sample from a British Columbia, a teenager who was hospitalized with bird flu, said the CBDC said. So we're seeing right here that now they're saying that it's mutating, that it has the potential of spreading to person now. So we knowing what, we already knowing the playbook, so right now that, these things also going to bring back that, that vaccine, you understand what I'm saying? The hokey pokey. So these things are coming into play, they're lining up just like clockwork, telling you about this bird flu, this H5N1 virus, so we already know there's going to be an instant repeat, but this time, it's going to cause lockdowns. Also, it's going to bring forth that grain of rice under the skin. So these things are coming fast approaching. Also, we already knowing that a lot of things are happening around the world. They having these tornado warnings across parts of the South, also the Northeast. So a lot of things are constantly picking up left and right. Pestilence, famine, you know what I'm saying? Evils, all sorts of things are constantly increasing left and right. And the mental Lord constantly warning you left and right. So it says here once again, it said bird flu samples show mutations that may make it easier to spread to people. The CDC report. So right here is telling you that it's a possible be another pandemic, or what we call a plandemic. So we already know that they're trying to push forth that agenda. It's gonna cause more lockdown. Also, gonna bring back the mask mandate. All sorts of things that they're constantly getting ready to bring forth. Also, we know about these elections. About Trump, not the election, about Trump, Salakia, about Trump getting ready to get inaugurated, supposed to be getting inaugurated. I think it was December the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. If he make it into office, there's a lot of things that's happening, left and right. These things are constantly picking up. Also, he's saying that, when he get in office, he's going to, it's another bill about this, I can't think of it, it's a tax, it's not going to be any more of these. I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, let's get this news report by Patrick Humphreys. He's talking about this bird flu. Also, let's go get this video right quick, and then we get a few precept and a few other videos. Let's start here first.
This is big breaking news. The CDC just made a major announcement, and this could cause big changes inside the United States, and especially for the incoming Trump administration. Let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So the CDC just announced a major development on this bird flu front. And this has been affecting dairy cattle all across the country. And there's actually been some people, they're saying, that have been infected as well too. And California just declared a state of emergency last week over this situation. And they are saying they're going to test all of the dairy herds and chicken farms in California for this disease, and there's already hundreds of farms, I believe it was over 600, around that number, that are in quarantine right now, and their milk is not being shipped out to the United States. So the CDC just announced as well too that all of a sudden this is happening. There has been a major mutation that has happened with this, quote, avian flu. And they are saying that this mutation is making it more spreadable to humans, and they're saying more people are getting it. And there's also even some people potentially saying this could spread through the air now. Okay? So all this stuff, I don't know how this is happening right now, but they're saying it's happening. So I want you to listen to what CNN said. They just put out this segment today, right? Friday, December 27th. And they had Dr. Birx on from the previous 2020 situation, okay? She was one of the top ones with Fauci. I want you to listen to what she's saying on this situation here. And it really seems like they're trying to have a repeat of what happened a few years ago. All right, let me know what you guys think down below.
Concerning new CDC report on the first severe human case of bird flu in the U.S., samples taken from a patient in Louisiana show mutations that could make it easier for this virus to spread from person to person. Now, right now, there's no evidence it's been passed along to anyone else, and the CDC says risk to the public remains low. But experts warn a single mutation like this could potentially lead to another pandemic.
The virus may mutate and become more easily transmitted person to person. So the more this virus circulates, and specifically co-circulates with human strains, that's going to increase the odds of the virus evolving to more human-to-human transmission. And that of course, could signal another pandemic.
Joining us now is Dr. Deborah Birx. You may remember her as the response coordinator for the White House Coronavirus Task Force in the first Trump administration. We are very fortunate to have your expertise as we try to figure out what's going on with the bird flu and what it could mean. So far, 65 human cases of bird flu have been reported in the U.S. this year, all contracted by animals. But now we have this new mutation in Louisiana. How worried should we be about bird flu potentially becoming another pandemic?
Well, I love the way you said 63 cases, because I have no idea how many cases there were or are, because our number one principle in preventing pandemics is detect. And if you go to the CDC website, you can see that they're monitoring more than 10,000 exposures, but they've only tested 530. What does that mean? That means we're not testing enough. And we know from other viruses that a lot of the spread can be asymptomatic. So we're kind of have our head in the sand about how widespread this is from the zoonotic standpoint, from the animal to human standpoint. Now, also remember, most of those cases described to date happened in the spring and the summer. Not when we had H1N1 circulating right now, when we're running the flu pandemic with throughout the United States. So we have rising flu cases, and now we have still zoonotic events coming. So now you've set up for potentially a farm worker getting H5N1, also getting the current flu strain, and reassorting in that individual. To me, that's almost a bigger threat.
So we're going to come back to this report in a minute. So we're seeing right now they're talking about they need to do more testing. So they already know an instant repeat of 2020. They're telling you you're going to have to get this, in order for this to spread. You understand what I'm saying? So now let's get a quick precept. And also what I was trying to bring out earlier, it had slipped my mind, was they have passed this bill, this HR 94 bill, H94, HR 95 bill, which in fact what it's dealing with is these non-profit organizations, that have this tax tax. One moment, let me see what I'm thinking of. It said the House passes bill that would allow Treasury to strip nonprofits of tax exemption status. So we already know who they get ready to target. A lot of people took that, what you call that 501 C3. So this is a whole nother story. But I thought I'd bring it out in this lesson for edification. I might do a lesson on it later on. So we already know who they're gonna be targeting. A lot of these different mega churches and different what his name, Bishop Nate, his organization, a lot of these things are getting ready to come full circle. If you make a deal with the devil going to show you, he going to show forth his horns very soon. So the devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. And also with these pestilence that they are constantly saying that these things are constantly increasing. We already know that these things have been manufactured and planned, but it's all through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we'll go back to Patrick Humphrey's report. Then I have one more video to bring out with more edification also. So let's start here. It said Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. It said, the prophets that had been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evils and of pestilence. Verse 9, it said, the prophets which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophets shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord had truly sent him. So that's exactly what we constantly warn you about. Warning you about a war. We're warning you about what an evil time. We're warning you about what pestilence, what disease, plagues, anguish, famine. A lot of things are coming. Death and destruction. The men of the Lord are constantly warning you left and right. So one thing about it that you're seeing that these things are coming full circle. And also it said in verse 9, it said they shall know that that a prophet had been among them, because they're gonna see that these words are coming true. And one thing about we know that the truth is constantly being declared. So let's read verse 9 once again. It said, the prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord had truly sent him in that day. you shall know that a prophet was among you. And when these things come to pass, what these prophecies, the signs of the times, these events and catastrophes, they'll come full tuition. They'll be what manifesting left, right? They're more obvious and clear that we're living in what in the end time, real time. So now let's get to some here. Just to back up what I was saying, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. Let's get this right here. So the Lord set up watchmen to warn you immediately of what's happening around the world. And out about we are the mouthpiece of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. These are not our words. These are the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the one that sent us. And out about it, if you're bucking up against the prophet, then you're bucking up against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and you will be totally destroyed. So now, Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 7. It said, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. And the mouthpiece of the Lord, once again, are the prophets. Hear the words. You know, one thing about it, hearkening to the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. We already know we have a lot of rebellious people. We have a lot of people that are stiff-necked, proud. You know what I'm saying? Good for nothing, reprobates. You know, and all they constantly, love it here. They are what you call conform to this world. And out about it, and one thing about it is only will lead to your death and destruction. That's why the Lord said, come out of her, my people. Come out of her what? Spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Get the right mindset and come back under that total subjection to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You know, why the Lord is constantly is near. You know, seek the Lord now, because we are running out of time. So let's read it in the NLT. It says, Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately. That means get on your asses. Whether you were here or whether you will for battle, we really don't give a damn. Because one thing about it, these prophecies are faithful and true. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, nothing you can do about it. You know, it's nothing that will change what's coming. And out about the Lord is in perfect control. It's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So you already know they keep bringing up this H5N1 virus, which in fact is the bird flu. You know, they keep bringing it up left and right, saying that it's spreading, that it's mutating. And that's what we constantly warn you about. All these evils are constantly growing left and right, all over the place, left and right. These things are coming to pass left and right. Let's get one more in 2nd Ezra chapter. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. You know, this is what the Lord said right here. You know, the Lord said in 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 4, he said, Behold, says the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So that's where we at right now. We're at the beginning of sorrow, great mourning, great death. We're going to get that also in a minute. So right now, the sword also goes into judgment. So we're right upon judgment. First, my judgment will start at the house of Israel. So many shall be taken in a great number. You know, a lot of death. The body count is getting ready to be great. The wars are constantly increasing all across the world. And also, we knowing that 2025 is going to be very prophetic and hoping that we'll get delivered. You know what I'm saying? We know that the Lord is very near. We know that the Lord is visiting the earth that he created. All these different strange weather patterns, these plagues and pestilence constantly coming upon the earth, sickness, disease. Also, you know, already rumors of an economic collapse. You know what I'm saying? These things are constantly happening. Infrastructure is constantly fed. And also, it says rumors of a cyber attack. You know, also we just seen that new movie that came out, which in fact is going to turn into a series. You know what I'm saying? Homestead is giving you a scenario what's to happen. You know, they said, you know, on that when it first started out, it was a thermonuclear exchange that hit L.A. So these things are right now coming full circle. They're coming true. You know, so the Lord's word is not returned to him void. So let's read it once again. It said, Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So that's getting ready to happen. There's going to be food short, you know, starvation get ready to set in. The sown place to be getting ready is getting ready to be unsown, you know. So right now it's plenty to eat right now. People are drinking good. People are going on with their daily life. What are you going to do when all the necessities dry up? You know what I'm saying? Your way of life change. You know what I'm saying? Life changing events. You are going to have to make a decision. Either you're going to take it under the skin or you're going to trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua when these things come upon us. Oh, we having a pandemic right now. We're gonna have to have everyone to come down and take this, you know what, here, and so you can receive this, you know, and out about it, you know, these things are coming upon us. These lockdowns, these mandates, they are fastly approaching. So now let's go back to the video, Patrick Humphrey. Out there, we'll play another video. We'll get a few more precepts, then we will close out. And once again, I hope that you will get edified.
To these mutations happening in individuals over time.
When you say reassorting in that person, what does that mean?
Okay, so the H5 virus, which doesn't adapt too well to our upper respiratory tract and is preventing us from getting infected, but is affecting cows and pigs and cats and dogs. So our flu, which has the binding sites for us, for our nasal passages. Viruses are very specific, and so they're very animal or human specific. Now we have human flu circulating. At the same time, we have this zoonotic flu circulating.
Okay, so that was Dr. Deborah Birx, and she is the one that was one of the head coordinators from 2020. And I thought something that she said was interesting too. She said she didn't even know how many cases or anything have happened. Okay, and she's the expert they're bringing on, and then she didn't even know how many cases there are. And they're talking about people because there's been hundreds of millions of cases, apparently, they're saying, from chickens and cows. Okay, there's been over 100 million chickens that have been slaughtered because when they get a positive test results where it says positive, and she also said, hey, we need to do more testing. She's really been pushing for this, that we need to test every animal. She was saying this a few months ago too, but now that the CDC made this announcement, it kind of brings new light to this that she was saying. But she was saying a few months ago too that they need to test every farm animal. They need every cow, every chicken. And they're already doing this in California as part of the state of emergency. Certain dairies and farms have to test their animals once a week for cows and twice a week for chickens. Certain farms that are in these certain zones, quarantine zones, and have been affected. And she's saying that we need to test every single animal consistently, like all the time, every few weeks, probably every month.
So you're seeing right here that, you know, something big is getting ready to come down the pipeline. We already knowing that, you know, things are ready now. That the green light is ready. You know, they already have the stages set. You know, so then right there, Patrick Humphrey was saying that this lady was saying that to test all animals. And so we already knowing that, you know, he getting ready to come down with it, you know, so these things are coming back up, you know, so I wouldn't be surprised when January hit, January 2025 hit, the year 2025 hit, you know, we already know they're going to put these things into action. Could this be the possible dark winter that Biden said 2 or 3 years ago? But one thing about it, we already knowing it's going to be all under the control of Yahweh by Hashem Abishai. So the Lord is constantly putting these chess pieces in places. So right now, at any given time, you know, they can announce some type of outbreak or some type of a pandemic, and you will have to do this and you will have to do that once again. You know what happened back in 2020. So we're seeing right now, but it's going to be far greater. And also the implementation of that grain of rice, the MOTB, is fast approaching. You know, you will not be able to do anything without taking it under the skin. So these things are coming to play. Also, these hokey pokies that they're getting ready to come back into play with. So now let's go here to Matthews. Let's go to Matthews chapter 24. Let's get them, and then we're gonna get another video, and then we'll close out. Let's see, Matthews chapter 24. Matthews chapter 24. And we'll start at verse 3. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. Let's highlight this right quick. So we're seeing right now that these things are, man, they're constantly picking up left and right. You know, we're very excited because we seeing the signs of the times are here, and these Bible prophecies are constantly speaking right now. They're lining up just like clockwork. In the middle of the Lord, we're working overtime. We're, standing on our watch. We're standing on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now, We'll start here in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3 said, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciple came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the signs of thy coming and the end of the world? So right here, that's what, right now we knowing that we are at the end of the world. And the disciple was asking Yahweh privately, and when will these things come? So now, right now, they're coming right now in our time. Right now we're living in the end time, real time. So we are very excited. So let's read a little bit more of this. It says, verse 4 says, and Yahweh answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. So a lot of people being misled, a lot of people are being deceived, but the Lord said the deceive and the deceiver is his, says the Lord. So one thing about it, if you've been deceived, the Lord did it. If you are a deceiver, the Lord calls you to deceive. And one thing about it, everyone is standing in their lot. No one is going to escape the hands of Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushua, but also the Lord is constantly what? Removing and also exposing, shedding light on all the lies and the deception, that gross darkness. The Lord is shedding light on that, so we seeing right now that the truth is being declared. Verse 5 said, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Verse 6 said, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So that's where we at. We hear, so these things are constantly happening. Rumors of war, we seeing every day they're talking about what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, also China and Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea, and the list go on and on. So we seeing that the nations are preparing for war, but the Lord said, said, but the end is not yet. So let's read verse 7. It said, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. So that's exactly what we see in these pestilence constantly increase. We also is already rumors of famine, a great economic collapse, food short, a lot of things that comes to happen, infrastructure, cyber attacks, a lot of things, earthquakes in diverse places, right here in my own backyard where you think that an earthquake would not occur. So any given time, something could happen, all around the world simultaneous, not in one place. This is going to be globally. So that's exactly what we're seeing left and right. Many parts of the world also, we're seeing that these things are coming full circle. These things are right now right in front of your eyes. So one thing about it, we're all seeing all together right now. We're very excited. Verse 8 says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. That's reading NLT said, the NLT version, verse 8 said, but all this is only the first of the birth pains with more to come. So that's exactly what's happening. So we're in the birth pain. We're in that transition of power. This is the struggle in Rebecca's room. And we already know that the Lord is getting ready to usher in the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So let's read this once again. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 8 said, but all this is only the first of the birth pains with more to come. So that's exactly what's happening. We are in the birth pain. These things going to constantly get worse and worse until it be born, the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So you can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that Esau either can do about it. His days are determined. He has bounds that he cannot pass, regardless of what's going on in the world. But we already know how the story ends. We win in the end. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushua. So now let's go here and get this video right here. Then we get one more. We'll close out. Sorry about all the jumping around, but just for edification purpose.
Hospitalizations, viral mutations, and dying cats. What's going on with bird flu? Let me explain. Cases of H5N1 bird flu have surged in recent weeks, and the worldwide virus is affecting more than just birds. Genetic analysis of samples from a patient in Louisiana who was recently hospitalized with the first severe case of the disease in the U.S. show that the virus mutated, likely while inside the patient, in a way that could potentially make it more transmissible to humans. On December 26th, the CDC reported mutations in the patient sample that were not found in the birds in the backyard flock from which they contracted the virus. Further analysis showed that the mutations may make it easier for the virus to bind to humans' upper respiratory tracts, and they are similar to those found in another patient recently hospitalized in British Columbia. Just days after the severe case emerged in Louisiana, California officials declared a state of emergency for H5N1 bird flu as the virus rapidly spread through dairy cows and poultry in the region, with increasing cases presenting in humans. The disease recently infiltrated a Washington animal sanctuary and has wiped out over half the facility's population, killing 20 big cats. It is unclear how the cats contracted the virus, but according to the Wild Felid Advocacy Center of Washington, the deaths started in late November when a 17-year-old cougar got sick, stopped eating, and died the next day. Since then, 19 other animals in the sanctuary have died, including 4 cougars, 4 bobcats, and 1 Amur Bengal tiger mix. Additionally, Northwest Naturals, a popular brand of cat food, voluntarily recalled one of their products nationwide after a house cat contracted and died from bird flu due to contaminated food. With 65 cases confirmed in humans in the U.S. throughout 2024, the CDC is closely monitoring the situation and continuing the search for a solution.
So now let's go here. Let's get this quick. Let's go back to here, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 8 again in the NLT. You know, that's reading first in the KJV. It said, all these are the beginning of sorrows. And the NLT said, but all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. So we see it in that last video that it was telling you how all these different increased outbreaks with these animals, also in your milk, in your egg, your dairy products. A lot of these things. Also now they're saying that it's mutating, saying that now it's a major risk of things is increasing. That, you know, it's very, you know, they're very sure that now this thing is getting ready to take off. You know, and also now they trying to get ready to put mandates into place. So we're, you know, never know, they could make an announcement, said this is what we're getting ready to do. We're going to have to lock down this. You got to start back wearing these mask mandates, different things like that. We already knowing that we're not ignorant of Satan's device. So now let's go here. Let's go here to let's go to 2 Amos chapter 16. Let's get this right quick. Just random scriptures through the Spirit. I started at verse 17. 2 Amos chapter 16 and verse 17. And it reads, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? And that about woe goes into destruction. So we read upon destruction, all sorts of things are getting ready to happen. The birth pain, we are here. It is at the door. And not about it, who will deliver you in those days. If you're not a part of the elect, you're going to be totally destroyed. So we're constantly warning you, left and right, seek the Lord now. Seek the Lord early. Seek the Lord while he can be found. Because one thing about it, we are running out of time. And also we know that the famine of the word is fast approaching. Also persecution of the saints. These things are as right at the door. Amen. You got to get your house in order. Examine yourself. Verse 18, let's get this right here, just the back of what I was saying in Matthew chapter 24. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So what shall you do when these evils shall come upon you? You know, what these famine, great death, beginning of wars. We're seeing that left and right. World War III is coming, what? Full circle, the beginning of World War III. The World War III is the wars to end all wars, right before what? The great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get ready to stand in fear. You know, a lot of people are going to be afraid. A lot of people are going to have a lot of uncertainties. A lot of people are not going to have faith. A lot of people are going to give up the ghost. We're seeing that's going to happen. Going to be a lot of betraying one another. Also, you know, this movie with what is that? Homestead, you know, it's basically was going into how, you know, people are getting ready to go into these many scenarios that's getting ready to happen, you know, great death, you know what I'm saying, mournings and sorrows. A lot of things are coming upon us at a fast pace. The beginning of wars, a lot, you know, there already is rumors about they're getting ready to that draft, you know, there's rumors that a possibility they may bring it back. So a lot of things are coming left and right, and we're constantly being a watchman for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. But one thing about it, the Lord's getting ready to cut that mouthpiece also. We're seeing right here in the beginning of sorrow, you know, that transition of power. So now let's go here to Amos. Let's go here to Amos chapter, let's see, because we constantly warn, but the Lord's getting ready to make us silent. I think it's Amos chapter 5. Amos chapter 5 and verse 13. Amos chapter 5 and verse 13 says, therefore the prudent shall keep silent in that time, for it is a evil time. So we're coming upon that time. Who is the prudent? Starting with the what? The prophet, 144, and also the what? The true believers, the elect of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. And how will we keep silent? We'll be in the what? The secret place of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. You know, wisdom and knowledge should be what? The stability of the time. It shall be a stronghold when these when this evil time come upon us. What is that evil time? Jacob trouble. The hour of temptation. It is fast approaching. We're constantly warning you, 11 right. Let's read it once again. I said, Amos chapter 5 and verse 13, therefore the prudent shall keep silent in that time, for it is an evil time. So we're coming upon that evil time, a time of trouble that we have never seen before. A lot of sickness, great death, great mourning. You know, a lot of things are coming, great sorrows are getting ready to happen right before our eye. You still are not believing what, and the Lord let you see it. You're getting ready to see these things that you thought you had never seen before. And a prophet has already told you about them. But what? Right now, you're not believing right now. But you're getting ready to find out, to F around and find out. So now let's go here. Let's go back to Petra Humphrey one more time. We get one more precept and then we will close out.
They want this to be happening, okay? And they're trying to make this a regulation, maybe even before Trump gets in, right? So then it has to be undone, and everyone's already starting on it. And it's going to be a major cost to the farmers for the testing. It's not like this testing's free. It's on the farmers to do it. And then we also could potentially see more positive cases, right? Whether it's a false positive, right? There was something wrong, or it's a real positive case, but it was not symptomatic. It was asymptomatic. We're still going to see more cases come up as positive because they're just going to be testing all the animals. She's also saying all the farm workers that work at any of these dairies or chicken farms or egg houses, anything like that, they need to be tested consistently. Okay, so we could see these standards come in nationally soon. It's already been declared in California, and California accounts for 20% of the nation's dairy almost. It's over 18%, almost 19% of the entire nation's dairy consumption comes from milk that comes from California, and it's around half of their dairies right now are in quarantine and have been affected by these quarantines. So let me know what you guys think down below. Please just hit it up for me down there. It helps.
So we're seeing right now that, this is, right now we constantly seeing that they're constantly bringing forth what you call a famine, or some type of food show. They're saying that there's something wrong with this, with the dairy products like eggs, milk. I think and also they're saying about the cows, the goats, and the lamb. So right now it's dealing with your food supply. One thing about it, control the food, control the people. So you understand, you will own nothing and be happy. So, this right here, is what is going into basically the takeover of America. Regardless, they'll come with a pandemic or some type of outbreak. But one thing about it, we already know their true agenda. They want what? Total control. And one thing about it, we know that once again, the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. So now let's close out here. Let's go here to 1 Peter. We close out here, 1 Peter. And once again, I hope that you did get edified. Let's see 1 Peter chapter 4, and we'll close out here in verse 7. We'll close out right here. It said, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. So one thing about it, you always got to be watching, got to pray without ceasing. Redeem the time wisely, be circumspect, knowing what the Lord will is. Because right now, we already read in Matthew chapter 24, the disciple asked what what will be the end of the world, when will this time come? So right now, we're seeing it right now. It is in our time. We'll witness it. It's in the last and final days of Edom rulership. It's also this wicked queendom. We almost at the end of this nightmare. So we're at the end of an age, end of a eon. End of this nightmare, this this temporal world. You know what I'm saying? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we already know that every time when the Lord bring down one kingdom, it's come with what? Much violence. That's why the Lord said, through much tribulation, ye shall enter the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So let's read this in NLT and we'll close out. It said, 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7 said, but the end of the world is coming soon. It said, therefore be earnest and disciplined in your prayer. So one thing about it, examine yourself, knowing what time that we're living in, knowing who you are, knowing who your true power is, knowing who the enemy is, and also knowing what time that we're living in. We're living in the end time, real time. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is The Sword is Without and the Pestilence and Famine Within. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.